Hello everyone and welcome to Fandom Pop. My name is Soul and you are watching the greatest channel on YouTube, and today I wanted to talk about Mass Effect. And as a fan of Mass Effect, there have been certain moments that have been burned into my gamer psyche. Certain moments that might have been burned into your psyche too. Great moments such as when we had to choose between Caden and Ashley on Vermeer, when we had to take it to the collectors by traveling through the Omega 4 relay, when Mordin Solus was singing about how much he loves being a perfectly modeled scientist Solarian before getting blasted into smithereens. And of course, none of us will forget the over 9,000 ass shots we got of Miranda Lawson. And the reason I bring this up is because we have gotten a lot of info dumps about the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and one of these little tidbits of information that we got was that Bioware is gonna go into the game and change a couple of the more goofy camera angles where they did like a fan service hentai ass eye view shot, I like to call it, of Miranda's ass during what was otherwise very serious conversations, very narrative-driven conversations. And just to be clear, I really wanted to talk about the Mass Effect Legendary Edition because we have gotten a massive amount of information regarding the game, but I didn't want to be like every other of these 20 asshat YouTubers you've probably already watched where I'm just talking about the release date. Here's some gameplay side-by-side comparisons. If I don't have anything interesting to say or anything to add to the conversation, I just don't want to make the video. But if there is one subject I will stab my flag into the ground and hit you some hard, cold opinions about, it's about
the number of pixels on Miranda's ass.
But before we get into all of that, I do want to address something. A lot of my more new subscribers have come off of the last couple Mass Effect videos, specifically the one where I talk about the Mass Effect 3 endings possibly changing. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, basically I made like a big speculation theory prediction video talking about the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and I went hard on the ending and I kind of marketed the video around that because, you know, a lot of people actually do want to know that. But since making that video, Bioware has come out and said basically, no, we are not changing the Mass Effect 3 ending. Stop asking us, please. And if it's not already clear, I feel like I already said this in the other videos, no, they are not going to change the Mass Effect 3 endings. All my theory was that we're gonna get like a bonus scene. There's gonna be a bunch of new players playing the Mass Effect trilogy, and it would only make sense to be like, hey, here's that extra scene to push all of you guys forward to play the next game. I thought maybe Shepard is going to rise from the ashes on the destroy ending. That was my best guess. That was the big theory. And do I still think that is the case? Potentially. Again, all I ever thought it would be is like an Easter egg, a bonus scene, and they're not going to bring that up in interviews. They're not going to be like, oh, there's going to be a little extra something. If it's just a bonus scene, they're just going to leave it in the game and not tell anybody. So really, we still only know all we ever knew from the beginning, which is nothing. Do I personally think that there will be new endgame content? I think that would make the most sense. That is what my heart says. My brain is kind of shitting on my heart and be like, no, that doesn't, no, EA, no, but like my heart but my brain, I'm gonna be a hopeful optimist, but that's just my opinion. And just to quickly talk about one other thing people have brought up where it's like, you gotta respect the artistic integrity, bro. If this is the story they wanted to tell, you gotta let them tell it, bro. The original vision that Mass Effect had to where it ended, especially during that ending, are nowhere near close, even questionably the same thing. That being said, if the team eventually came to that decision, I don't think that's the case. I think it's much more likely that EA fucking rushed the game out. I think just the fact that the extended cut exists tells us that there's more to that game's ending than what we got. But if they really did everything they wanted to do with that ending, then that's their opinion. I can respect that. But as a person who talks about my opinions on the internet, I'm going to talk about my opinions on the internet, even if I just want to talk about the political war of Miranda's ass. That was a nice segue to get back on topic. So yeah, some people are upset. Some people are upset about some camera angles. People are upset about a couple of camera angles that last a couple of seconds in Mass Effect 2 and 3. A couple of fucking camera angles. No, Miranda's ass is the exact same size. Her suit is just as revealing as it was before. The only difference is there's a couple of cutscenes where the camera just happens to drift on her ass while she's talking about like really important stuff, like about her sister, and like it's really narrative driven cutscenes, and it's just all up on her ass. That's the camera angles that they're changing, and that's what people are upset about. And I'm making a video about it, and you're watching it.
Jesus Christ, what has humanity become?
That being said, there is a crowd of people who want to be mad at this game. There's a crowd of people that have shit on every little nitpick thing that they can find. Oh, the sky in Eden Prime isn't like blood red. The saturation isn't just turned up to infinity. Like, okay. If there is a real complaint you could make about this game, it's about the multiplayer. Because this game, if it does deliver, easily earns my $60 if it has all the content it's promising, and if it has like the upgraded overhaul that they're talking about, it gets my $60. But for a lot of people, a remaster is not worth that. They could just play with some really nice mods and basically have the exact same game for a lot cheaper of the price. That being said though, multiplayer should be in this package. I never got into the multiplayer, but for a lot of people, that was like an integral part of what Mass Effect 3 was. That is something they dumped a lot of hours on. And if you're going to remaster a game, you have to remaster it in full, in my opinion, if it's within your power, and it easily is, especially since it actually contributes to your war points for the actual game, so I'm still wondering what they're gonna do about that. I think what most people are concerned about is that EA is running the show, and EA loves to just remaster games. Here's some new frames, here's some new textures, $60 please. That being said, I think Bioware just has a little bit more respect for Mass Effect, and considering the fact that the first game is like borderline remake levels, I think it deserves $60 from me personally. But for a lot of people, they are not getting the full extent of Mass Effect 3, and they're not getting the full extent of the ass shots. Where are my ass shots? Personally, I don't give a fuck. And some people are saying, oh, they got a fucking PC agenda, bro. They're gonna change stuff. This is just the beginning, bro. Really, all they're doing is changing a couple of camera angles. If there is an argument to be made, I will make it right here. You have just proven that you have the manpower and the capacity to change camera angles. So, there's a bunch of goofy camera angles all throughout this franchise. Mass Effect 1 in particular has a bunch of very stiff, very like just shoulder to shoulder people talking cutscenes. I want more dynamic camera angles now. Mass Effect 2 and 3, remember when Jack's just moving in her little underground basement? Like that's the camera angles I like. More of that in Mass Effect 1. If I play Mass Effect 1 and I swear to God, if they just have another conversation with me and like Ashley, and I just see her face and a bunch of like lens flares behind her, and that's all I'm seeing for like 5 minutes, I swear to God, if they change those camera angles and not all the other bad camera angles, that's something to actually call bullshit on. But yeah, I'm sorry if I don't feel sympathetic for the saint gamers out there who aren't getting their 4K anal shots of Miranda Lawson. But anything, if there is one thing I do want to close this video out on, it is the fact that this channel, Fandom Pop, is coming up to 1,000 subscribers, and I have literally worked for this goal for 6 years. And the fact that we are coming up on it, it means the world to me. I want to make 1,000 subscriber videos, and I want to make it more special than all your other bullshit subscriber milestone videos where they just jack you off with thank yous for a couple minutes. I want to actually do something cool. I'm just working on like 20 other videos right now that I'm focusing on, and I just halted all of that for a video about Miranda's ass. So I don't know what my priorities are right now, but that's what I'm working with. But if you guys are subscribed, I thank you to high heaven. If we can make it to 1,000, I'll be a happy man for the rest of my life. So thank you so much as always, and until next time, with that, I leave you.
I wanna disappear. I know you